Samurai 8, Chapter 15, Hachimaru's Way. So another great chapter, further expanding upon the lore and giving more depth to this series. It's also showing us where things are headed. Like, this is where the things are going, and we're likely going to take a very long time to get there, too. And that's fine, because I'm really excited for the journey that this series has paved for us. So, let's get into it. So, we see Daruma link up with Hachimaru, kind of like Game Boys back in the day when, like, you wanted to play Pokemon against your friend. And I love this as a visual storytelling device. Very cool, very good idea from Kishimoto here, and well executed by Okubo as well. And we're getting insight into the evil side of the faction here, the dark side of the Force, because we've heard about the Ushusama style for a while now. We know that Ata comes from them. It was originally name dropped by Hagamichi back earlier in the beginning of the series, but now we're seeing who is the leader of that, and it's apparently this person by the name of Kala. Might be a female, and it makes sense because the leader of the Vajrayaka style is Yasha, and we saw that she was a female back in Chapter 1, so it'd be cool if there's like two rival, almost sisters in a way. But apparently, Kala comes from Akala. So this is more info that we're getting. We're finding out that Akala had samurais who served him, which is pretty cool. So it seems like Akala was like the one above all. I say was because I don't know, it seems like he's not around anymore. Because obviously if Pandora's Box and Mandala's Box are up for grabs, and we knew that he originally possessed them, it makes me think that he's not around anymore. So either he just somehow died, or he just went into commission, or decided to go away, or maybe something happened and like he was double-crossed and he was killed, possibly, even if he can be killed, because it seems like he's near omnipotent, at least the hints that were getting dropped on this cube. But still pretty cool. It's kind of like God and the Angels in a way, or, you know, going back to the Naruto parallels, this could be like Kaguya and her children, you know, because there are many parallels to Naruto in this series, even more so as it goes on. But aside from that, Kala is being confirmed as a planet buster here, which is awesome. I mean, we already knew that these characters, at the minimum, could bust planets. I mean, definitely Ata, who was also confirmed to be a planet buster in this chapter. But also, let me say that, like, I've talked about this before as well, that the translations are tricky, as we're like, the Japanese words for planet and star are very similar, so it could be interchangeable. It could mean that Kala is a starbuster here, maybe, because they also say that Ata is a planet buster. And if anything, it seems like that's the minimum just for Ata. So Kala, who seems to be a level above Ata, I mean, we could just assume so, probably is like a starbuster, but I think maybe they're just lowballing him here. Like, at the minimum, he could destroy planets. Like, the way that it's said, like, so powerful he could single-handedly eliminate whole planets. Maybe that's just not, like, a big deal for him. Or her, of course. But we're also getting some insight into Ata's betrayal of Daruma. So the way that he sums it up is that he left Daruma to become more powerful under Kala. This reminds me a lot of, like, Anakin with Palpatine, you know, back in Episode 3. That's more or less why he left the Jedi, just because he was corrupted by Palpatine in order to become more powerful. And it seems like that's what's happening here as well. And also, like I said, Ata confirmed Planet Buster, which we knew. I mean, we just assumed off of his feats that we've seen in the previous chapters that he could definitely bust a friggin' planet, but it's just nice to get some confirmation on it here. We're also getting some further confirmation on the opening of Pandora's Box, and that there are 7 specific samurai keys needed to open it. Like, this is going to be a big part of the series where Daruma and Hachimaru go around to find these 7 specific, or 6 I should say, because we're going to get into who the 7th one is. But these 6 other specific samurais with the keys inside of them that are capable of opening Pandora's Box. So that's pretty cool. A lot of people have been confused to this. They weren't sure like what the exact dynamic was here. And it's also clarifying that Mandala's Box is being opened by the 7 artificial keys that Furuta had made for the Ushusama style. It remains to be seen if there's like an alternate way of opening Mandala's Box. Maybe the 7 keys that open Pandora's Box can open Mandala's Box as well. It's just either or. But, you know, instead of going around the universe and the galaxies and trying to find these specific samurais with the special keys, they just, you know, made a shortcut with Furuta and just made these skeleton keys, as they put it. But as we found out in the previous chapter, Hachimaru kind of foiled that because he was kind of like an anomaly, and his offshoot from the 7 is like hindering their power. So that's why they can't open Mandala's box, because they are weakened by the existence of Hachimaru. And in order for them to open Mandala's box, they're going to have to drain the power that Hachimaru has from them, and then they will become full again. So then the 7 skeleton, the 7 children, they can open Mandala's box at that point. So this is motivation for the Ushusama style and Atta to go after Hachimaru. But also, Hachimaru is one of the 7 keys needed to open Pandora's box. Like, he became that when he became a samurai back in chapter 1. And I like the way that Daruma points this out. So Yasha doesn't directly tell him that Hachimaru is one of the keys. She simply just tells him that him going into the cat body, which we still don't know why he did yet, but I'm sure it has something to do with Atta's betrayal, at least it was hinted at, that him being in this body is going to show him where the key samurais are, that there's meaning to this. So him being in the cat body, him finding Hachimaru, is him realizing that, oh, this is what she meant. I'm going to find one of the key samurai because of the, the whole circumstance I'm going to be in. But also we're seeing that he is blind, which maybe he said before. I don't remember if he clarified this before, but he is blind, but he can see through the cosmic harmony, which is like the force, I guess, of this world. But a very important part of this chapter is that when Hachimaru originally became a samurai in chapter 1, we're seeing what Daruma actually saw, and it was like a glimpse of the future, or premonition. Maybe it's not set in stone, of course, but it's like what could be, or what eventually will be, if all things go right. And that is essentially the end of series Hachimaru. I guess that's what we're looking at here from the back, and we see end of series An with him. She has longer hair. But yeah, Hachimaru, end of series in theory here, is awesome. Looks incredible. I guess this is like his KCM 2 mode with the Sage and the 6 Paths chakra and everything else that Naruto has at the end of Naruto. I guess this is what we're looking at here. It's also stated that he has a white soul sword, which I'm sure is like ultra powerful. We also see he has multiple souls around him, 3 at the minimum that we can visibly see. And then he has like the holder shield around him and everything. Looks awesome. So this is just hype. It's like, yeah, the series is eventually going to get to this point. I mean, we know that it is, but we're just seeing it. That like it would have been like in the beginning of Naruto if we saw Naruto in like his KCM 2 mode with like the truth-seeking orbs. Like that would have blown us all away. Like, what the hell is that? Well, you're not going to see it for another 10 years. But I don't know how long, Samurai 8 is going to take. But it's pretty cool that we're seeing it. So then we see everyone gearing up to leave. They're all going out to go on their journey to find the keys and to avenge Furuta, take down Atta. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they have to do, but namely, they just have to first leave this friggin' planet and go out into the galaxy and stuff. And I'm pretty sure this is confirming that Hagamichi is going to be going with them, which is awesome because I wanted him to go with them. I like Hagamichi. I think he's great addition to the cast, and it just bolsters it because, Daruma, Hachimaru, Hayataro, and An is nice and all, but just that one little added more character like Hagamichi just makes it, hits it right in the sweet spot. And also, it's, of course, confirming that An is going with Hachimaru as well, which we knew they kind of have to. They are the fated pair, so it makes sense. And we're also seeing that, friggin' An is there at the end of series vision that Daruma saw, so yeah, she's definitely going with him. And we're also getting some really nice character development on Hachimaru here. He's being straight up to An, and she's being straight up to him. She's like, look, just stop interrupting me, and, we'll get along just fine. And just development on Hachimaru. This doesn't mean that he's going to change completely. Like, he's still going to be the Hachimaru that we've known to come, but he's just a little more grounded. Because the death of Furuta has definitely changed him, for sure, in a good way. So then we get to the end of this chapter, which we assumed was going to happen for a while, or at least I did. This is like Chekhov's moon here. So we didn't know what was going to happen exactly with it, but we knew that Atta was going to use the moon as a weapon. But now it's turning out that, yeah, he's straight up split the moon in half. So if you're wondering, like, how is Atta doing this? What's going on here exactly? I'm just taking a guess here. And I'm assuming that Atta is used a very similar technique on the entire moon that we saw Daruma use back in the beginning of the series. I think of like chapter 3 or chapter 4. He does like this delayed cut move in front of Hachimaru. It's like he cuts the ground, or he swings the sword, and then 5 seconds later, you see the cut that he activated. And he says like it's a delayed cut. I forget the exact name of the move. So I'm assuming that this is what Ata's using, you know, considering that he is a student of Daruma, so he would know this technique. But given that Ata is insanely powerful, he could just do this to a moon level effect. But he can also delay the attack as long as he wants, I guess, because I guess it's been like a couple hours. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been longer than 5 seconds. So he just did that technique to be able to split the friggin' moon in half, time delayed to like an hour or two, which is insane. And now everybody's panicking, as we knew they were. I mean, I was kind of panicking myself. Just the notion of this happening before we even saw it. I was like, how are they going to deal with this? And then it's like, oh no, wait, Daruma, he's still there. We saw that he has insane techniques, the one that he used to take out Ata, and he's apparently going to use another one. And even Hagamichi knows this. He's like, it must be destiny that, you know, the Lord brought Daruma to this planet, because he's pretty much the only one that can take care of a frigging falling moon, especially now that Mujin is gone. I'm assuming that Mujin maybe could have taken care of it, but he's gone because, you know, Ata took him out. So now Daruma is going to use one of his crazy powerful techniques, you know, similar to the one that we saw him take out Ata with, but he's also apparently going to teach this to Hachimaru. Of course, Hachimaru isn't going to be able to use this to the full extent that Daruma is, but this might be the first, like, big move that Hachimaru is going to be able to do in this series. Maybe, like, it's his Rasengan or something like that, you know, or maybe it's, like, Kamehameha, you know, it's something along those lines. But then we see the big sea turtle holder come out of the mountains. Like, this was what he was using as his hideout. We also saw this in Chapter 1. So this is awesome that it's back. This is, I assume, is going to be their primary method of travel throughout the story when they're going through the galaxies and stuff, because I don't think they're going to be riding on Hayataro and the other holders, you know, through space. I'm sure they can, but it just doesn't seem optimal nor pragmatic way to go about things. They're going to need, like, you know, like a spaceship, you know, because that's usually what we see in, like, space operas and stuff. They need a place to, like, chill. And this sea turtle is going to be that. So I'm assuming that they're going to go into the space turtle, fly up to where the moon is, you know, intercept it before it completely falls, and then we're going to see some crazy stuff from Daruma, and then hopefully Hachimaru retains some of it and uses it in his own way. But that's pretty much it for the chapter. I love this one. Can't wait to see what happens. As usual, man, I'm just loving this series so much. So much potential, and I think it's going to pay off. I mean, even before years down the line. So if you like the review, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.